Hello there, sports fans. My name is Bryce, and welcome to a basketball edition of Sports Dreamer Podcast. In this edition, we'll do a 12-man league mock draft. Before I did the mock draft on this video, I asked some of my friends on which draft position I should take. It's the number 2 spot. Remember, this is a 12-man league mock draft because most of the leagues are 12-man league. Before you do your actual NBA draft, here are some pointers that will help you field your best possible team. First one, always be prepared before going into your drafts. Know which players you want to target, especially in the first 4 rounds. Also, know your league categories and roster positions. Second, learn to adjust. If your targeted player gets picked, know who you want to pick next. Don't just scramble around looking for players while drafting. Third, don't get caught on name value. Example, if you're a big Kevin Durant fan or you are a fan of a certain team, don't just go and get those players ahead of their ADP. ADP means average draft position. So let's head over to our mock draft. When you're doing your mock drafts or your regular draft, as soon as you enter the draft lobby, select all possible players that you want to pick, whether or not you think that they'll be in there on your next turn. You just don't know if a player lands on your lap when you're drafting. So no surprises there. As you can see, James Harden got picked as number 1 overall. Almost all of the mock drafts that I did had James Harden getting picked as number 1 overall. Even with his issues with the Houston Rockets right now, if he's playing, he'll pretty much cover 5 to 6 categories night in and night out, including turnovers. Now it's my turn to pick in the number 2 spot. In here, I'm only choosing between 2 players, Anthony Davis or Luka Doncic. Either pick is a good pick in the number 2 spot. It just depends how you want to build your fantasy basketball team. In here, I decided to pick the Brow, Anthony Davis, at the number 2 spot. I want to get a big man, if possible, in the first round. Anthony Davis, on a given night, can score 25 points per game and hold you an average of 10 rebounds per game. And also, he's a good defensive player, so he'll be able to swat some blocks for you. Again, if you pick Luka ahead of Davis at the number 2 spot, I'm not gonna argue with you. Like I said, it really depends how you want to build your team. I'll show you who got picked on the first round. This specific mock draft was an odd draft. As you can see, some players got picked ahead of their ADP. Giannis at your 10th pick is a great steal. Looking at this draft, this is what I was telling you before we draft. Don't get caught on name value. Kevin Durant, as much as I like him, he's not a first rounder this year. Always remember, he's coming from a major injury. He's still a superstar, but he might not score you that much for the first part of the season. And also, the Brooklyn Nets might be inclined to rest him on some games. So for my second round pick, because I got AD, a big man, on the first round, I decided to go pick a point guard. So I picked Russell Westbrook. Westbrook might not give you a high field goal percentage, but he can score you points and get you a bunch of assists. Remember, back in 2017, Westbrook was an MVP. So don't look past him on your drafts. For my third round pick, I decided to pick Zion Williamson of New Orleans Pelicans. Last season, Zion got injured early during the season. But when he came back, he was still in consideration of the Rookie of the Year award. If he's healthy, he can get you a double-double per game. And I'm not talking about the Tim Hortons coffee. Here's where I ran into some trouble picking in round 4. I was looking at D'Lo and Chris Middleton in this round, but sadly, they got picked ahead of my turn. I wanted to pick CJ McCollum, but decided to pick Jaylen Brown of Boston so I can fill out my shooting guard or small forward position. With the 3 stars that I have, Jaylen Brown is a good complement on my squad. Jaylen can get you double-digit points every game. So for my 5th round pick, I decided to get DeMar DeRozan. Although he struggled mightily last year, he is still the only legit scorer beside LaMarcus Aldridge in San Antonio. We'll just get all the required roster position in this mock draft. We're not gonna go over the bench players. So for my sixth pick, I decided to get Steven Adams. Kind of an overreach on Adams here, but if you need rebounding, he's a good pick at center spot. If you can wait couple more rounds, he might still be available, but it really depends on how your draft is going. So for my seventh pick, I took Kelly Oubre. Kelly will be a supplemental scorer alongside Andrew Wiggins and Stephen Curry in Golden State. As you can see, I got all starting positions almost filled up. All I need to get is a center and two utility players. When I'm drafting, I'd like to get players with multiple position categories. So when the season starts, it's easier to plug everyone else if they have multiple positions. As you can see, I don't have any 3-point shooter on my team. On a 9 category league, mostly it's just a 3-point percentage category that you need to worry about. But if you can get 7, maybe 8 out of the 9 categories on a weekly basis, then you're still winning your head-to-head matchup. So for my 8th round pick, I took Victor Oladipo. I'm not sure why he is dropping so bad during this draft. I don't get why Oladipo is so far down the draft rankings. He had his struggles last year, but remember, he was coming from a major injury. So if he's healthy this season, he might be the steal of the draft. Keep that in mind. For my 9th pick, I took Blake Griffin. Again, another injured player from last year. But if Blake is even close to an 80% health, I'd take that. Also, he doesn't need to compete with Andre Drummond for points and rebounding. For my 10th pick, I took Josh Richardson of Dallas Mavericks. Richardson is still a good scorer, and without Kristaps Porzingis for the early part of the season, he's going to get some scoring chances together with Doncic. So here is a recap of my mock draft. Remember, I had the number 2 spot on this draft. So for our first round pick, I took Anthony Davis. In the second round, I took Russell Westbrook. In the third round, I drafted Zion Williamson. And in the fourth, I decided to get Jaylen Brown. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment down below. So there you have it, our 2020-2021 NBA mock draft. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to hit the like button and hit subscribe. We'll see you next time.